All right, welcome back again. My name is Brandon and Clayton. Exciting message for you today. They prefer demons to deity. What nonsense is that? They prefer demons to deity. Why would someone prefer a demon over deity, holiness, godliness, goodness, and peace? How crazy is that? But I think you and I choose that too often. Jumping in Mark, we're going to look at chapter 5. We're going to pick up this story in chapter 10. Just to give a little context here, Yahshua has arrived, Jesus Christ, and at this city, and a man comes out to him who's demon possessed. He's cutting himself, yelling out, and he comes to him and falls to his knees, and he's calling out that spirit now. And in verse 10 it says, "And he begged him very much that he would not send them out of the country," that demon-possessed man. "Now a great herd of pigs was there, feeding near the mountains, and all the demons begged him, saying, 'Send us to the pigs, so that we enter them.' And he gave them permission. And the unclean spirits came out and entered the pigs. They were about 2,000, and herd rushed down the steep place into the sea, and drowned in the sea. And those who fed the pigs fled and reported it in the city and in the country, and they went out to see what had taken place. So they came to Yahshua, Jesus Christ, and saw the demon-possessed one, him who had the legion, sitting and dressed and in his right mind, and they were afraid. And those who saw it related to them what was done to the demon-possessed one and about the pigs. And they began to plead with him to leave their borders." And they began to plead with him to leave their borders. They pleaded with the physician of all physicians, the miracle worker of all miracle workers. God himself, embodied in the flesh of a man, they begged him, as many others had begged him. Many others had come and begged to just simply touch the hem of his garments, or the tzitzis, the little tassels that hung from it. They begged to touch him. They begged to lay people before him to be healed. And yet these people begged to go away. After seeing such a miracle, after seeing such greatness, they said, "Please go away. We were happier with the demons than with you. We would have preferred the familiarity of demonic activity than to the newness of godliness." Wow. Does that happen today? Do people prefer demons to deity? Why would someone choose a demon over that which is so sound and good? You know, 3 things jumped out to me as I thought about that question. First, why would someone prefer demons? Fear of exposure. Fear of being exposed. After watching the transformation this man had, they realized that you could not hide in such intensity of holiness and light. You know, I like the way John 3 says it. He says, people who want to do evil hate the light. Why? Because of fear that their sins may be seen. They hate the light. And I believe that was the case for these people. They did not, anyone with that kind of status and weight, they could easily be exposed to change a demon-possessed who had plenty of demons to where he was now. And is that the case for us? I think Peter felt the same way when he said to the master, "Go away from me, I'm a sinful man. I'd rather be by myself than to be exposed in the light." It hurts to go into the light. Even physically, we all understand once you've been in the dark literally for a while, it's painful to be exposed to the light. It's painful to be open about some of your weaknesses. More than that, it's painful to be exposed, that you may see where I'm truly weak. And I know that just being around you makes me uncomfortable. Sometimes some of us know what that means. Just being around some people, we're uncomfortable because we have things that we're hiding, things that we don't want to be asked about our lives. With those closets that we just rather keep the door closed to, and we push him away, and we settle for keeping him at a distance in our life. I'm talking about the followers here. We're trying to follow at a distance because if I get too close, you're going to ask me of too much, which is getting to our next point. See, the first thing is a fear of exposure, but also there's a fear of change. Because one thing you know about being around the Messiah is you can't be around him and not change. He demands change. Matter of fact, he don't come to your house wanting to do a little redecorating. No, that's what we want him to do. You know, fix the picture a little bit. Man, I was thinking about changing this wall. Christ, what do you think about that? You know, we come to him, and many preach that let's go to Christ so that you can have a better life. He don't want to just give you a better life. He want to change the whole thing. He come in your house, not simply organizing the pictures, not giving you a new floor. He comes in with a sledgehammer, taking out walls. This gotta go. This gotta go. That's gotta go. This ain't good. And the house don't even look the same no more. And that's a fear. You're gonna come in changing too much. Look, I like the Christianity where I can be comfortable and do the things that what I want to do and still kind of have God when I need him. That's the kind I grew up with. The religion I grew up with. I have Jesus in my pocket when I need him, when I get in those conversations. Well, you know, I don't kill, I don't murder, I don't steal, I try not to cuss and all these things. Well, it's convenient for me, but you're asking me too much. What you mean you want me to do all in? You want me to give everything. That's too much. But I'm still a follower. I just don't follow you like that. Well, I'm going to tell you something. One thing that's been so sobering to me, Luke 14:33 says, unless you give me everything, you can't be a follower of mine. You can't, and I get excited when I hear you cannot because we can do all things through him. But when he says you can't, oh, you can't. And some of us are trying to follow at a distance because we don't want to change. I know it's painful. Trust me. I've lavished in the idea that, look, I'm being applauded by men. I'm doing more than they. I'm doing better than this. But he's looking at me in my eyes like I'm looking at you right now. And he's saying, you know what you're holding back. And that passage, and many of them like it, like give all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, all of it. And like he said to the rich man, you're going to see it everywhere. He says, you know what you're holding back. And because of it, you are not my disciple. Those are not my words. And people want to fight when they hear that kind of stuff. What do you mean I'm doing all this? You're not all in. Go away from me, evil doer. See, there's only one way here. It's either all or nothing. Either you're all in or you're not in at all, guys. Please hear my call on this. You can't go through this life trying to do it your way and his way. You be the Messiah and he be the Messiah. You'll both share the kingdom and the throne. But you got to go all in. The change, complete change is required. And they feared not only to be exposed, but they feared change. If this man change like that, whoo, you come in here doing too much. He was crazy. We couldn't bind him and you changed him like that. I ain't ready for that. No. You know, and you may have talked to people or you may have been talked to and somebody talking about they're changing their life and they did like, whoa. You may be in a dating relationship and that person's trying to change or you've been there before and you're like, that's too much and it scares you. Because you don't want to change like that. You want to change in small increments. He says, no, give me everything you got right now. And next month, whatever else you get, give me that too. He's calling you to go all in with your change. Don't fear change. If you fear change, you prefer demons. You rather I keep the demonic activity. I keep the mediocrity. I'll keep giving less. I'll keep giving sacrifices that are broken and blemished and never all my heart. That are disgusting to him, he says in Malachi. What is this? You wouldn't even give this to your governor. You give it to me? I want all and I want your best, he says. We cannot fear change unless we want to prefer demons. And lastly, they feared exposure, they feared change, but they also feared people. How many times you hear that? People pleasing. I fear what the people are going to say. Look, our livestock has been messed up. All the pigs are gone. And now you're changing the whole society. And I bet there was somebody there in that group who had someone that was hurting and needed help, but didn't speak up because they were fear of the people. Most of the people, the business people were there and it was like, well, but I don't want to say anything. Somebody surely had to be there and said, he can do that. Surely he can do something for me. I want him, but I'm afraid of what the people are going to say. You prefer demons when you start to fear what people are saying. You start to say, well, most people are okay with this. No, everybody's in agreement, right? And groupthink sets in and we say, oh, yeah, that's about. And fear of what they would say, and that we will push the Messiah away. Let go deity and embrace a demon. My God. These things happen so subtly and so consistently that we think nothing of it. No one's telling us. This is not trending. Get me, this is not trending. This is not what's going to be popular and preached on the pulpit even oftentimes. This is simply what he says to do. It's not popular. Matter of fact, when you find yourself doing things for him that everyone's not doing, you're probably in the right place because it's not popular. If it were, then how would the road be narrow? How would the way be narrow? The door be narrow? Everything's narrow, but all of a sudden, but somehow everything is popular. Everything is accepted. See, oftentimes we judge our goodness and how we're doing based on what's popular. Well, this is the new thing for Christianity, this shirt, this way of talking, using these kind of words. No, he's only concerned about where you are in your heart right now. I don't care what denomination, what church, what ethnicity, well, this is my little thing. He's asking you one question. That's when you're going to love me with all you got. Go all in and stop being afraid. Notice those three things: fear of exposure, fear of change, and fear of people. It all had to do with fear. Please go away. Why? Because I'm excited about you? Because I'm hopeful? Because I'm faithful? No, I'm fearful of what this can mean for me. I'm fearful of what else you can come in here and change up. They could not even celebrate with the man who was finally freed. They preferred the screaming and cutting and all the demons right in their proximity. They preferred that than the change that the Messiah was bringing. God help us that some are in the relationships where they prefer abuse rather than someone who loves them truly. We've gotten so comfortable with that. We're afraid of what could be good because we don't know what happens on that side. But we know we grew up in dysfunction, so we keep begetting dysfunction. We're like, this is what I'm used to though. I'd rather have this because that person may hurt me one time, but at least I know he will hurt me. At least I know she will do something to hurt me. Why do we stick in there? Why do we continue not to give him all? Because of fear of the change that's going to happen. Fear of being exposed. Well, let's go all in and not fear that. Somebody listening to this is living in mediocrity. You are bound for greatness. You've been set up in greatness. It's in your heart. Listen to me. That it's in you, but you are settling for less because you're fear of that greatness. Fear of going all in and saying, what if I did it? I'll be honest with you, this whole production, what you're seeing right now, has taken a lot of time and it's fearful. Who does this? I don't know no one who's doing this on YouTube or in these different medias. It's fearful. But I said, no, I can't allow my fear to overcome. This is on my heart. This is what he put there and this is what I'm going to do. And I'm not claiming to be perfect, but I'm sick and tired of living fearfully because fear is not from the Father, but from Satan and his demons. He did not give us a spirit of timidity, but of power, of love, and self-discipline. So guys, let's go all in when it comes to not being fearful, when it comes to embracing deity. Let us not let our lives show that we prefer demons over deity. But instead of fearing exposure, let us, as the John chapter 3 goes on, says, but those who live in the light want their deeds to be shown so that the Father may be glorified. Or instead of fearing change, that we, like Romans 12 says, that we transform ourselves by renewing our mind. We're running to this change, like bring it on. I'm not used to thinking like that. I'm not used to that principle, that idea. I'm not stuck. I'm constantly transforming my mind, transforming what you want me to become. And instead of fearing people, we fear him. Not the one who is able to hurt the body, but the one who is able to take away the soul as well. Or as Paul says, if I was still trying to please people in Galatians 1, I would no longer be a servant of the Messiah. So I call you right now, go all in and embrace godliness, embrace deity with no fear and trusting that He's going to take care of us. Thanks for the time, guys. See you next week.